Okay, congratulations. You all did it. You've been working on your chakra systems. You've been working on the nervous system. You've been working on neutrality. You've been working on managing your emotions. And so, congratulations. You have done it. You've done it. You're still doing it and you're still perfecting the mastery of it. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay. So, this has been a challenge for a targeted individual, whoever you all are out there, because again, enduring psychological military grade style psychological warfare tactics is no easy feat. This is not about surviving some little minor harassment from one random obsessed ex. This has been something that is just for one person, it's like, wow. You know what I'm saying? So they feed off of your energy, they feed off of it one way or the other. So it's like learning how to control your emotions when they're activating you intentionally is a part of the mastery. It's also a part of taking your power back. So that's why you all are looking at the coffee mug. You did it. Congratulations. And you're still working on it. So yes, I know we're not going to do this perfectly. Okay. This is, mastery. There's levels, grades, and degrees. Okay. And again, we all have our days. You're still dealing with life. You're still dealing with your own cycles of life, whatever you're going through physically, all those things. So this is just whoever you are. It is a congratulations collective for, because look, talking about it, ranting about it, in some ways, I know this is trippy. In some ways, it's still louche. I mean, because it's the fine line between being someone who's informing and bringing awareness to you're still feeding. And I'm still trying to master that, because where's the line? How do we be informative without feeding the parasitic problem to begin with? Because isn't it true? Where our mind goes, the energy flows. Where our attention goes, where's the energy goes. So it's still a very, very slick way of getting energy outside of ourselves. Anywho, you've been working on that so that you can realign your chakras and your connection to your body and your connection to this physical plane of existence. The 7 primary chakras are to do with the physical plane of existence. It's to do with the physical body. Okay, so good. Yay, keep at it, because they're going to keep trying, until this thing is not what it is. I don't have all the answers, I don't know if any of these people, I got to do some more research, when they get put down. Because it's almost like, how you cut grass for the landscapers out there, you pull up weeds, you got 1,000 more. It's like, so it's really good that we're trying to work on our emotions, because that's what we can control. We can't control in totality what nut job or, whoever out there in the universe. So good for you. But this live is not about that. I just wanted to say that for the collective. Shots out, you sing the chakras and all of that, because this is something you're working with, your nervous system. You're trying to realign your chakra system, okay? And this is a part of it, because if they can keep you swinging, then that's going to keep you out of alignment, huh? That's going to keep you kind of, you see that? That's why they do what they do, okay? So now I wanted to talk about, this is non-related to what you're seeing, but that's just it's a milestone, and I wanted to honor it on a collective scale, whoever you are, when you see this video on whatever platform you end up seeing it, okay? But as it pertains to those of you who, love targeted individuals, okay? You may not know or understand what's going on. This may be all of a shock to you. You may be scratching your head. You may be like, huh? and you're just starting to get privy to, like, yeah, people do get contracted to do stuff to these people. Okay, whether this is from government officials, police officers, lawyers, judges, doctors, political figures, and even famous individuals. Okay, because you have the entertainment industry, you have the sports industry, you have, on a smaller scale, lodges and gangs that have certain causes. So it's all of it. Okay, but when you're dealing with this on an official scale, they all, especially with the fusion centers, because fusion centers are employing the footmen, the rando schmo that's always following you around. They come up in twos like they're a cult, because they are. They don't know that they have joined a cult. They think they joined a job. Okay, they're a cult. Okay, and so they have them behaving as such. Okay, anyway, so they sign a non-disclosure. If this is something that they do in a legal trouble situation and they get a deal, well, they're signing a non-disclosure. Hold on one second. They're signing a non-disclosure agreement that lays out all of the consequences should they ever speak of it. They cannot tell their husband and wife unless their husband and wife are equally a part of the deal. They cannot tell their mama, their daddy, unless their mother and daddy is a part of the deal. They cannot tell their sister or brother unless their sister or brother is a part of the deal. They cannot tell anyone. I'm laying it out like that because people think that, well, surely no, they can't tell. It's non-disclosure. They can't tell their son or daughter. They cannot tell unless the son and daughter is a part of it. Those are the only folks that can be privy. Okay? They can't tell their boss, they can't tell their coworker, they can't tell the manager, they cannot tell. It's non-disclosure. And in the contract lies, if there's any dirt on the person, I promise you, it's all in that non-disclosure. If there's any kind of dirt that could be used against them, and I mean any. Okay? Whether it's a deep, dark secret, whether it is some criminal activity that, they'll have to fully be held liable for. Okay, some cases is jail time. Okay, so why do I want to share this video? I'm sharing this video for the few out there that you're not a part of the stuff, but you also don't believe that it exists. You may be very conservative, or you may just simply be not in the know. This stuff, but you have no connections whatsoever, no involvement. You were not active participants. You didn't have any knowledge of anything, but stuff is leaking out. Truth is starting to leak out some kind of other way. News is getting to you some kind of other way, or you're just starting to get your own nudges. Maybe you're getting, dreams, or something ain't sitting and feeling right, and you're starting to kind of wonder, well, maybe there is something to this, because this is insane. This is crazy. Well, I am attempting to assist you all with understanding that it's not even about you being intelligent, creating a safe space, being a good communicator to the perpetrators. They cannot and will not disclose this information. Okay? Now, if you want to add to the fact that some of these people who agree to do it in the first place are not all that okay, And, they take delight in the toxicity, so it's kind of like they take delight in it on top of the fact that they actually have signed a contract. Okay? An actual contract. Do not disclose. Okay? You cannot disclose. Let me hurry up because we're supposed to be going. I don't know. I gotta check and see what's going on. We may or may not be going, because I don't see any text messages to let me know what the deal is. Okay. So, anywho, this is why you're not gonna go to church and after go to have a nice lunch and sit down and chat with them. Okay? This is why it's not about going to get some frozen yogurt and some coffee and taking them out, because I get it. When you're a communicator and a problem solver and you consider yourself a mediator, it's almost like a slight against your skills. But I just want to say it's not a slight against your skills. It has nothing to do with that. They cannot. Some within this non-disclosure agreement, they can lose their job. Some of them is you disclose, you're fired. You disclose, you're fired. You open your mouth. You tell the target or anyone, and they show you how they're gonna know. It's like they make sure that they can know that information so that you don't get it twisted. Okay, so people, listen, if we paint and lay out the picture like this, folks, and I'm not making excuses. I'm not saying this makes it okay for all these people to have done what they do. But let's lay it out for people who are governed by fear. Okay, lots of these people got kids. They got children, grandchildren, mortgages, college tuition. They have braces payments. A lot of these people, when we lay it out like that, they got 2 mortgages they didn't have to take out on a home. They got a lifestyle that they're trying to keep for their family, because should something happen to, them and this job, then, or should they go to jail, or, if a bad, dirty secret comes out that they don't want to, it depends on what's in the clause. If this person decides to get the sudden cases of the consciousness, the sudden cases of I got conscious, when they went into it knowing full well what they were doing. Okay, it was about saving their own ass. Like I said, if it was somebody who had legal trouble and they sat across in that cold, gray, sterile room that looks like death, it's like, why is it always cold and stale and gray looking on TV? It's like, because it's this whole vibe of it's dead, no hope. You saying? You sitting there, you're feeling some kind of way. And it's intentional. Because the show ain't no therapist's office. So they sure ain't trying to make you have the warm and fuzzies. When you're in those situations. So, all due respect to even authority figures out there, spiritual people, it doesn't really matter. Pastors, clergies, and things like that, they can't tell you. And of course, they can tell you, but can comes with the can consequence. that they do not wish to endure. Some people's families are possibly, trigger warning, possibly threatened. Should, like, hey, because some people like, okay, they don't care about themselves, but okay, so then put something in there that they fucking do care about then. They can't tell you. So all due respect, wives, all due respect, husbands, they can't tell you. If they tell you, they can't tell you unless they're involved, unless you're involved. Because they gotta get some dirt on you to put that in the cause as well. But otherwise they can't tell you. They can't tell you. So whoever you are when you see the video, maybe this will help you getting past thinking that you can be some kind of hero, thinking that you can be the great and grand mediator of a family dynamic. No, it's not going to happen. When you combine sociopathy with do not disclose contract, that's ironclad to the grave. Folks do not want to be, they don't want that truth. They don't want to be seen as somebody who would even consider doing something like that. So you have the cemented power of the sociopathic nature on top of the fact that there is a contract. You're not going to be able to pray them into truth. You're not going to be able to truth serum them into truth. Now, let me take that back. There are some energetic practices where it's like maybe somebody can do some kind of ritual or spell and kind of force an accidental truth to kind of come out. Okay, so I will say that. But just easily, willingly, and intentionally, just in a little conversation and whatever, like, no, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get it. Sociopathy combined with an ironclad do not disclose contract. These folks don't want to be known. They sign these contracts, but I guarantee you, the ones who do, they don't want to be known for that. Especially if they're sociopathic. No, if they have an image to uphold, they have a reputation to uphold, that the world, the population, the communities, the city, whatever their whoever that looks up to them, they ain't trying to hear that. They don't want nobody to know that shit. I'm just saying. So whoever you are who ends up seeing this video and you're not involved and entangled in this stuff, but you're trying to gain your bearings about some stuff that's coming out, this should help you put it to rest, put the nail in the coffin in terms of thinking that you're going to get these people who sign these contracts to just sit there and bleed their heart out to you. It's not going to fucking happen. Okay, some of them on their deathbeds might do it because, well, they're out of here any fucking way. Okay, that's the exception. They're out of here anyway, so they finna be dead. They finna be, at least in this physical. Okay, so to my legit motherfuckers out here, okay, yeah. So I gotta go. Got stuff to do. I don't know. Thought we was gonna do some different stuff on the agenda today. We may have a change of plans, but I still have things to do. But congratulations to whoever you are. You see this video, you're working on non-reactivity and all that stuff. You're still clearing your energy. You're still working on mastery, because you realize that a lot of what they feed off of is knowing that they can get to you, knowing that they could annoy you, knowing that they could torture you, knowing that they can get reactions out of you. That's a part of feeding these parasitic groups, these parasitic types, whatever. Okay? And give yourself a hug and a squeeze when you don't do it perfectly. Because again, you guys have endured high level, professional grade, military grade attack. This was by no means no little penny in the ass, you know, high school shit that everybody lives through. Okay? Because even as I speak, okay, I'm starting to not name certain things and people because I'm not going to give them the feed. But I can tell when people play with me and my son's energy when I go live, anywhere, at any moment. I can tell what somebody is thinking, projecting, twisting, touching, poking, prodding on something. But I am gaining mastery, and they are experiencing possibly some surprises. Hold on, son. Let me cut this. Hold on. No, hold on.
So I put this in the trash.
I know. Sitting on